I want to get back to this issue of what's happening on global stock markets and how it's affecting the Australian Stock Exchange today. Tens of billions of dollars wiped off share values today. Chris Kohler now joins us from the CBD. Chris, what's going on and what's driving it?
Yeah, g'day to you, Chris. Certainly a shocking start to the week for the ASX 200 with, as you say, up to $90 billion being wiped off since the beginning of trade on Monday, about 2.4% down today as I speak to you. But to your question, this really is us being swept up in a global sell-off. The US-China trade war has taken a step up, and that is sending shivers through global markets. Wall Street down, the European markets down overnight, and then Australia and Asian stocks getting hit today pretty sharply as well. Now, the real reason to get into the nuts and bolts of it is Donald Trump had added an additional 10% tariff on $300 billion worth of Chinese imports previously not tariffed. Now, that could go up to 25%. He's been talking tough on that. Now, China whips straight back by devaluing its currency, currently at decade-low levels, and also instructing buyers not to purchase any US agricultural products. So this is really the opposite of what investors around the world had hoped to see from China and the US.
Yeah, Chris, what has angered America for a long while is the devaluation of the Chinese currency, and they've fiddled there again, which again must unsettle global markets.
Yes, absolutely right. That is something that the US is furious about right now, calling China a currency manipulator. Really what's happened is that they've devalued their currency to the point where more than 7 Chinese yuan is buying a US dollar. That's the lowest it's been since well over a decade. So yes, certainly that is driving the US crazy. Donald Trump's been talking very tough on trade with China for basically his entire presidency, but it had kind of drifted into the background. You know, things were looking up. There was a positive meeting between the two countries held in Japan, and then Robert Lighthizer, a trade representative from the US, went over to China for face-to-face trade talks. Now, that's all since imploded. So, look, any idea that this was going to be a positive development for markets has been dashed, and that's why we're seeing these huge falls from record high levels.
And, Chris, this will all surely play into the RBA's considerations on interest rates.
Absolutely right, Chris. Yeah, the RBA is having to juggle local domestic weakness from consumers with this whole global trade issue that it's been dealing with for a while. Of course, today it is holding its August interest rates decision, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be handing down what is expected to be a no-move decision. This follows 50 basis points being wiped off the official cash rate in June and July, with a view to mop up some of the spare capacity in the local labour market and also get inflation up to within that 2 to 3% target band. So no move expected this afternoon, but it'll be crucial to see what the RBA is saying in its statement.